here, Go Live Studios in the heart of Las Vegas. This show is called Full Tilt Vegas. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my book and how I got started in it. If there's any questions on blackjack, craps, or roulette, or slot machines, or anything you have anything to talk about, go ahead and that number is going to be put here, Aaron. Put that number there. I can remember 855 was it 502-4321. And hit that subscribe button. You can get these books too for a Christmas gift. It's in the book Winning Ways. That way you can, if you decide to get them for Christmas gifts for your friends or anything into gambling, you can do that. You got to excuse my voice. It's been a hard 2 days. Anyway, yeah, you can Kindle, Google. You can get the hard copy, or I suggest get it on your phone. That way you have it with you. Yeah, when I first started, I think it was in 2000. Actually, I had the idea in 2005, 2006 actually, to write a book because when I was dealing here for the MGM Corporation, there was a lot of people used to come to my tables. It doesn't matter if it was blackjack, craps, or roulette. I deal with all the games, the carnival games. Let It Ride, 3-card poker, Spanish 21. I did a lot of the games, but I've seen a lot of the players didn't really know, how to play the game. They just plopped their money down. Some did ask me. As a dealer, we can help you only so far. I did help them a little more than I should have, but I just didn't want to get caught because sometimes they come by and watch you the floor. So yeah, they would make bad mistakes. Money management was very poor. They bet $10 they lose. They bet another 10 they lose. Money management says you continue to bet the $10, or it depends on what game you're playing. You can play 20 roulette and the field bet on craps. Those are the percentages of those coming up are almost 50-50. Roulette's 47.37, and the field bet would be 5-4 or 44.54% to win that, and it's 55.56% to lose. So it's really close. But those are the games I would said you lose 10, place 10, lose 20. Replace it with 20. You lose that, you got to replace it with 40. If you have a bankroll, you can do this. Those two, roulette and black craps on the field, you can do that. But other than that, there would be people they get all mad, and I've seen people shove. Sometimes they would have $200-300. They'd shove up. They lose $20. They'd put $100 down. I go, well, you want to bet that? You're gonna be betting 100? Because I was kind of telling them, what the hell are you doing? And they go, no, I'm going to bet that because I'm going to win this hand. A lot of them didn't win. And then they end up going to the ATM, and they're all pissed off, and they come back, and they got more money they started with originally, and they're betting that. And they just keep getting in the hole. And I go, man, this is horrible. I really wanted to help them, but I could only help them so far. So I thought about, man, if there was a book out there to explain this, because I know there is books, but I don't think they go into money management. I know there is books on money management, hedge betting, but not the way I devise it in this book. It's real simple. There's none of. I didn't make this book like I've seen a lot of books at 300, 400 pages. I think it's unnecessary because they repeat everything. Everything on blackjack, they keep repeating it, and they prolong the sentences, and they make pictures and diagrams, and they make all these notations. I said, what are you doing all that for? It's real simple. So that's how I devised this book. There's only 88 pages, but I get right down to what you need to know. I show you good and bad bits. I give you the ratios, statistics. I tell you what the casino's percentage is in the long run. How to cut the house edge down, like when you're playing right there. It's not a prolonged. Anyway, I'm really tired tonight. So, anyway, So that's why I put what I put in this book, and I every also what I've done in this book. I tell somebody when I meet them and they do buy the book, I tell them that when I these stories that are in here, there are 3 stories. These are real true stories of what happened to me. Like this one's called A Hot Shoe. I tell the story. This one, what happened to me in 1990, I think it was in 97. So you see how far this goes back. These 3 stories on each of the games, blackjack, craps, and roulette, those are true stories what happened to me during that time when I was playing. And I tell you what happened, and I go through the whole thing because I want the people to know when they buy this book, I'm just like you. I mean, I got to try to beat the casino. Even though what I know, it's not a guarantee. I have also in the back, it says this is not a guarantee. If somebody tells you can guarantee something, walk away. All I have is an edge. That's it. As long as you know the percentage and ratios of good and bad bets and use money management and also hedge betting, you'll watch. You'll stop going to the ATM as much as you do, because that's what happened to me. Once I broke everything down and fully understood the game, the ratios, percentages in the long run with the casino, the longer you play, the more likely you're going to give the casino the money. The short run is good. You can still play even hours. Like sometimes I'm at a crap table. It could be anywhere from 3. I've been at a crap table 8, 9 hours and don't realize it. But because I'm having so much fun and I'm going, maybe I might be going back and forth. But there's a time to use hedge betting and then use money management. But hedge betting, because hedge betting, it doesn't mean you're going to get your full amount of money back, but you can get part of your money back, or it helps you along the way, so you're getting some of your losses back. And then when the table does turn, or just to say your luck, which I really don't believe in, but a lot of people think it's luck. Once the table turns, like the cards come your way, your hedge betting helped you along the way. That happened to me and my son. We were at a crap table when he turned 21, and the table was horrible. It was horrible for probably, I'd say, it had to be 45 minutes, something like that. If we didn't use hedge betting, we would have lost like everybody else. We noticed everybody went to the ATM machines except for us. We stuck around. And right at the end, when I was I only started with $200. My son started with $200. I was down to my last $9, but I had money out there still. It went from there, boom, it just went through the roof, and the dice just boom. We were just winning and winning. $200. I got my investment back $200. Plus, I think I made $1,100. My son made $1,400. There was a guy on the table at the same time we were there. He started with $5,000. He lost $4,400. He only had $600 left because he was just pounding everything, pounding. The table was horrible. He could have, if he would have understood hedge betting, he would have probably got more than half his money back. But I teach all that in the book, all the hedge betting. So you can go and you can see how to hedge bet against these games, craps. And roulette, you can really hedge bet against the bets that you make. Blackjack, yes, I do tell you in the book. If you ever played blackjack, you should be play 2 hands. You should always play 2 hands. Don't play 3. I did scenarios on blackjack. I did 10 shoes of a 6-deck shoe, 10 shoes, and I've done. And playing three hands, 2 hands was better. 2 worked out better than 3. That's why the casino offers 3 hands. A lot of times, when you play 2 hands, one will pay the other. So you can see that. What is this? Daniel Man says, nice studio background. Victoria Garcia says, hi. Yeah? Christy says, watching from... Where's that? Detroit. Oh, Detroit. Oh, is it sunny over there today? We heard there's a blizzard. Anyway, so yeah, and like I said, you can get this book yourself, Kindle, Google, or get the hard copy, I suggest you get on your phone because you'll have it everywhere you go. Now, the other thing I've devised in this book, I'm gonna give credit to Dave Martinez. At the time, I didn't fully understand how to use a computer, so he helped me a lot. I dictated everything to him, and he actually made these little tables, but I actually drew them out. I said, "Can you make a table like this?" So I made these tables. Can you see that, Aaron? I made these tables, and all these tables show you what your percentage is, or the casinos, and how many cards are left, so it shows you a balance of cards, which would be a ratio of cards. So I've done all these tables in blackjack, single deck, double deck, 6 decks, 8 decks, and it tells you how many cards are left once you take a card. And I tell you on the top here what happens in the beginning. In the beginning of blackjack, I give you ratios on one, because a lot of times some people do like playing one-on-one to the dealer, or in the beginning you might be the first one. So now when more people show up on blackjack, you're still playing with the dealer, but you might have 2-3 people. You got to remember, it's the beginning. It's the start of a 6-deck shoe that you should be playing 6 decks, not 2 or 1. That's the starting ratio in 6 decks. So you can go ahead, whatever you're doing, you're using card recognition or card counting. Those are the starting ratios, and the starting ratios are very important, because once you follow the starting ratios of a 6-deck shoe, if you're card counting, you get a better idea of somewhat what's coming out. Not guaranteed to come out, but somewhat is probably going to come out. Now, the first one that I really drew out was 12, because Cliff says you're amazing. Well, you are too, Cliff, with your ham radio show. He has a ham radio show here. That's Aaron.
It's going to be on tomorrow.
It's going to be on tomorrow. It was tonight, but it got set. So it'll be on tomorrow, ham radio, here on Go Live Studios.
2 p.m.
Yeah, 2 p.m. So, but the ratio of 12, I thought was very important, because before, when I was playing blackjack, I used to think, well, the only card can beat me is a 10. If I have a 12, a 10 value card and a face value card 12, I said the only thing that can beat me is a 10 value card. So a lot of times I did take chances, and a lot of times I did one without fully understanding the ratios. The ratios are in your favor. So what I did I did tons of scenarios on 12 coming out of the shoe, and the ratios are in your favor. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to figure these out. I'm going to figure out what they are. I'm going to memorize them so I can go to the table and I can memorize these numbers. So I can tell you right now, on a single S, 35 to 13, the ratios are in your favor. You're not going to bust. 2 decks, it's 71 to 29. 6 decks are 215 to 93. 8 decks are 287 to 93. These ratios I have in my head, I memorize them, so I don't have to be looking at any paper or anything. They're in my head. So you can learn these and remember these. So when you're playing the game, you say, well, shit, the ratio of 12 is in my favor. So what you do, you double down. And when you double down, you make more money. So you can do this using ratios against the casino, because that's what they're doing to you. These ratios are already built in on all these games. So if you understand those ratios, you somewhat put them in your favor, because it cuts down the house edge. Says a reminder people to call and ask me. Yeah, you can call in any questions. Cliff, smarter guys like you know, and I'm reading the teleprompter here, but the ratios are very important, especially ratios of 12. Those are the ratios of 12. The ratios of blackjack are really close to 12. Those numbers are so close. Let me see here. What's it? Dave Martinez, long time, first time question. Yeah, craps. That point already established. So he didn't want to call in? Dave's, I got to read the teleprompter. Hold on. Assembly of steps when you walk to the table, and the table, you can Pass bet, but can't you bet on the don't pass? No. When you walk up to the table and the table's already going on craps, and Dave says when the point's already established, a pass line bet, but you cannot bet the don't pass. You cannot bet the don't pass. When you're on a crap table and the game is already going, you cannot bet the don't pass, but you can bet the don't come bet. So you can bet that, or you can do a lay bet. A lay bet is you can pick your own number on a lay bet. The don't come bet, the dice will decide where that bet goes. Now that bet, don't come bet, if you put, say you put $50 and it goes to the number, don't lay odds. I tell you that in quite a bit of my episodes. I think it's 22. I think 22 is one. I was really surprised it was that far back, 22. And don't lay odds because depending on the point, like on 10, you can lay 100. You're only going to get 50 of the lay odds, but you get 50 for your flat bet. So you're better off just laying flat bets and leave them alone, and you only replace them once. So Cliff says, "Smarter guys, say genius." So, but anyway, yeah, you can bet the don't come. You can do that. I don't play more than 3 numbers. Only if the number becomes 6 or 8, and you're playing a don't come, you can actually tell the deed of no action. When you say that means they'll leave it alone and they won't go to the 6 and 8. A lot of people don't play the 6 and 8. They don't even lay the 6 and 8 because that number 6 and 8 is the closest to 7. 6 and 8 is 13.78%, and 7 is 16.67%. So they're really close. So in other words, the 6 and 8 come up a lot, but the 7 comes up a little bit more. I think that's 2.78%, a little more than 6 and 8. So that's why a lot of people don't lay or they don't want action on a don't come going to that point because it comes up a lot. So they'll lose it. Now, if you want to put a put bet, those are the best to bet. 6 and 8 are the best ones to bet because they'll come up the most. But a lay bet, like I said, you can lay the bet. Say you want to lay 4 and 10, 100 each. 7 comes out, you win them both. You'll win for $100 in the 10. You'll win 50 minus $2 because that's the vig. So you get paid 48. So you get paid. If 7 comes out, you get paid 4 and 10 both. You get $48 on those 2, plus you'll get your 100 back on each of the bets. So, but the ratios are in your favor to make those bets. There was a guy I knew when I was there dealing. There was a guy who used to come up and lay all the bets before there was a point. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. This is way back. And I says, this guy's laying all the numbers. So if 7 comes out, he wins them all. But remember, on a lay bet, you're picking the numbers. So you're only going to get either half the bet, 3/4 of the bet, or on a 6 and 8, that one's a little rough because if you lay 30, you win 25. But you're more. A lot of times that number will come up and you'll lose that number. So if on a lay bet, if you lay them all and the point becomes 6 or 8, it goes to that point. Now it came. You're laying against it, not for it to come up. So you lose that bet, but all your other lay bets will still stay up. And then the next, say the 7 comes out, you'll win all the rest of them. But you can go into my book and you can read all this on craps. I have that on the back on tips on Vegas casino games, and you can go to the crap section and you can see. I show you all of that. There's craps, there's blackjack, and there's roulette. I show tips on those games. These tables that I devise, I said once I have these tables, you can see this one here on 12. That one here, you can see all, you can learn all the way if you get, they're called stiff hands. So on a single deck, there's 35 to 13. You got 48 cards left in the play that will help you. And you got, versus 13, you won't. But, all the stiff hands, even a three decks, 4 decks, where some casinos do have 4 decks, and you can memorize that. I don't memorize that because I'm not going to play that. I'll never play 4 decks. If I'm forced to, I'm just going to have to readjust my ratio in the head. But yeah, so if it's 4 decks, you can go 2 decks times 2, and then you have to add 8 more cards on a that will help you. That's all you have to do. You just, if it's 2 decks, you play 4, add 8 cards, and you will adjust playing 4 decks. I don't like playing 4 decks. I played it before at Indy Casino. I just don't care for it. I think between 6 decks and 8 decks, I played both, and I have better luck playing 6 decks. I don't know why. I've looked into it. It doesn't really tell me anything, but for some reason, I get better cards playing 6 decks. I've done all these scenarios a lot of times during the week, or a lot of times I did this on weekends, on Fridays and Saturdays when everybody was partying. I was so focused on writing this book. I started on roulette, then I went to blackjack. I did the card recognition. I did the card counting, and then I saved craps for last because I knew craps was going to be very complicated to write. It was very complicated the way I wanted to explain it. It was very complicated because there are, I think I got 64 numbers in my head. There are 64 combinations that I have in my head because of the bets. Because if you have say, I always use 8. I just picked 8. It doesn't matter. 6 and 8 are the same. But if you're on a crap table and you want to, say you want to lay the 8. If you want to lay the 8, that's 2.44% on a lay for the casino in the long run. But if you win the bet, that percentage drops down to 1.67%. But you don't have to know that when you're playing. But if you do know that, you can see why it comes up either more or it won't come up when 7 comes up. Those are the different, by understanding the percentages of each number. It's the same number 8, but it's a different bet. Like on a buy, instead of a lay is 2.44%. On a buy, it would be 4.76%. So, got a caller?
You're on.
I'm not going to remember what I was talking about after. Go ahead. Yeah. What happened? Hey, who is this? Hello. Let's see. Shy? I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay, now I got you, Richard. Thanks, buddy. Just a quick question for you. I was curious about in terms of craps. If someone wanted to try their hand at craps for the first time, what's the best way you recommend that they learn on a casino floor? And is there a certain type of casino or a certain type of part of the floor that you suggest going to? Because I've seen myself sometimes walking around, there's little stations where they'll teach you to play. Do you recommend going to those, or do you recommend going to an expert like yourself?
Okay, it's Brett. Yeah, Brett has his own show here on Saturdays. Was it Conflicts or? Yeah, and so I'm so my memory's so clogged today. I was in a lot of stuff I did today. But anyway, that's funny what you're saying, Brett. That they do teach you. You can go like sometimes it's 10 a.m., 11 o'clock in the morning. You can go to these. They teach you free. Yeah. They teach you free, all right, but you know one of the first things, they teach you the pass line bet, which is important, and they teach you odds, which you should always take. But the next thing they teach you is the come bet. That is the worst bet. That's my opinion. It's the worst bet on that table, and that's why they teach you to, because they want all the players to do the come bet. And I show you why in the book, why that's a bad bet. Once I show you, sometimes I show people when I'm going parties, and they say, well, why would people play that? Because the casino won't show them scenarios on that. That's why they teach it. Okay, Brett, thanks a lot.
Absolutely, Richard. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You take care.
Okay, thanks, Brett. So they teach you that, and I show people. I do have some of the episodes I did with Gypsy. You can go to my YouTube. It's Delatory 360 Entertainment. And you can see all my videos on blackjack, craps, roulette. I got them 6 on poker and keno. 17 is with Rob Goldstein. That's a professional poker player. He's won a lot of money. My channel, episode 14 is Anthony Curtis. Las Vegas advisor here. Anything you guys want to know about what's coming up in Vegas, cheap rooms, where to eat, reasonable prices, buffets, entertainment. I always gave Anthony a plug. I was very, very grateful that he came on my show. He's world famous. Travel Channel, Vegas Cheats. He's been on Bar Rescue. He's been all over the world. I was really happy that he came on my show. I've met him I met him about 15 years ago at the Hilton, and he was in a blackjack tournament, and they actually let him play because he was counting cards. So he was on my show, and I was very grateful he came on. So I keep giving him plugs, and I don't know if he's listening, but hello, Anthony. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and hit the bell. Yeah, it's the worst thing to play. You can find out in my book. It's very simple. Once I show you, you say I'm never going to play that. You're better off placing bets, because if you place a bet on craps, you can actually take it off, or add to it, or degress it if you want. On a come bet, once you make the initial bet, say it's $25, once it goes to any number, that's a contract bet. You cannot take that bet off. You can't regress it, or you can't say I'm off. You can take the odds off, but you can't take the flat bet off. It's the same thing as a pass line bet. Once you make a pass line bet and you get a number, it's a contract bet. You cannot take that bet off. So, and then if you have the two times rule, 3, 4, 5 rule on a come bet, you'll find in my book. You can see that on the section on craps. I'll show you how two times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Say you're betting on the number. Let's say the number 10. It's only 2 times. Once you bet a flat bet on a come bet, say it's $25, you can only bet $50 on for the odds bet. Now, place better, which would be once anything after a puck, it becomes a put bet. So when you place, when you say give me 100 on, let's just say 50. Let me have $50 on 10. That's a put bet. Come better, his initial bet is 25. He can only put $50 because it's 2 times the odds. Place better can say, give me $50 on the 10, and then he says, you know what, this 10 keeps coming up like crazy. The come better is only winning his come bet, but he can only max out his odds bet. The place better says, press it up. Now he's got 200. He's making more money. Press it up again. He can keep pressing. If that number keeps coming, he can keep pressing more and more money on. The come better cannot. The only way he can change that, his come bet, he'll have to change that to 75 or 100. Then he can take 2 times odds on his odds. That's the only way he can change his odds bet. But he probably already missed 4 or 5 bets that he would have made more money. You'll find out when you read that section in the book. If you're playing the come bet, 2, 3, 12 comes out, you lose the bet. So using money management, if you say you bet $25 on the come bet, and it's going to go to one of the points, and 2, 3, 12 comes out. If you lose that $25 when it comes out on that come bet, you're down $25 already. So you have to get your $25 back, even though you're making money on the other come bets. You're still down $25. If you replace that $25 and 2, 3, 12 comes out again, you're in a hole $50. So say you go, say you replace for $25 again, and say 10 comes out. So now 10 comes out, and then you put another $25 for odds. That $50 you just put back on the 10, you still lost the 50. Even if you win that bet, you're going to get back on that bet. You'll get back 25, and the flat bet. Flat bet was 25, and the odds bet you got 50. So even though you win a total of 75, you're still in the whole 50. So you only made $25 on that bet. The place better is already made 3 times what you made. That's why I don't like a come bet. Yeah, so I show you those scenarios on come betting. I just can't stand when people come up and make come bets. They have to wait twice to get paid once. And also the other thing about that is, say they make 4 come bets and they haven't made a dime on those 4 bets. and the place better has the same numbers, and say they got paid from each one of those 4 bets. The come better hasn't got paid yet on 1 cent. Now, say the point comes up. Say the point is 8, and the come better doesn't have an 8. Now the point came up. Everybody wins on the pass line. The puck goes to black. It's off, and now 7 comes out. Everybody wins on the pass line. The place better, all his are off. No, I'm not going to go into work them. He can't work them. Just never do it. Those are off. The come better just lost all his 4 flat bets. They give him back his odds, but he loses. He's got to start all over. If he's betting $25, he's down $100 already. Even if he wins, he repeats it, gets up to 4 again, and he wins 1, and then 7 out. He's in the hole. That is the worst bet on the crap table. And I go into scenarios. I'm glad, Brett, you brought that up because I talk about it a lot in some of my episodes, but I can't emphasize enough. That's a horrible bet. When I go to my parties, I tell people, can I tell you something? It says, why are you playing a come bet? He said either the casino taught him or a friend taught him, and that friend probably learned from the casino. So it's just a bad bet. I honestly, I hate the bet. It's a stupid bet. I say it in the book. It's a stupid bet. So anyway, the other thing before Brett called was talking about the ratios and percentages or all the numbers I have in my head. Like I said, the 8. Now that was a lay bet is 2.44%. A buy bet is 4.76%. But if they win the buy bet on an 8, it drops on 1.67%. So I'm using the number 8. That's just that number, one number, and there's a bunch of percentages for one number. And the reason why, because they're different bets. Each bet has a different percentage and ratio. The same number, 8. For the casino, that's 6.67% for the casino in the long run. That's what they make off the it's see, I get it mixed up because that's the 4 and 10. The 8 is 1.52%. I get it mixed up because I actually used to learn. I used to say in my head backwards. So the 6 and 8, it doesn't matter. The ratios and the percentages is exactly the same. If you get a set of dice, you can see the soft 6 or hard 6. You flip them upside down. It's a hard 6 or a hard 8 and a soft 8. They come up the same. They pay the same. 6 and 8, they come up the same, pay the same. 5 and 9, they come up the same. They pay the same. And 4 and 10, they come up the same. They pay the exact same ratios and percentages. Now going back to the 8. On a let me see, buy bet, lay bet, on a hopping bet on the 8 or 6, same ratio, same percentage, 13.89% for the same number 8. Now, if you're playing a hard 8, that's in the long run for the casino, it's 9.09%, and it's the same number, but you can see it has different percentages. Now, to throw that number, if you want to throw a 6 or 8 right now, the percentage is 13.89%. It's the same number, different percentages because it's a different bet. Let me see, you got lay. Oh, the corner. The Vegas is taking that. A lot of casinos are taking a corner 6 and 8. Those are whatever bet you bet there. It's a flat bet. If you put 50, you win 50. You bet 25, you win 25. If you would stick that same $25 up on the board, they're called board odds, and I explain everything that in my book. You'll get $29 back. If you put it over here on the corner, it'll say 6 and 8. You put it on an 8, you'll get 25. 25 for 25. You put that 25 over there on the 8. The dealer has to break it down in his head. A lot of times they haven't memorized. It will pay $29. You get $4 more for just doing that. But they're taking that out, and that percentage is 9.09% for the casino in the long run. In other words, what that means is the casino, out of $100 in the long run, they make $9. They make $9.09. That's what that means when they talk about percentages. It's 0 to 100. Like the 8 on a hopping bet is 13.9. The casino in the long run, out of $100, they make $13 and 86 cents. That's what they make. Yeah, for the number 8, I'm trying to think on the 8, any more numbers, hopping bets. There's buy bets, lay bets, put bets, hard ways, corner. There's probably a couple more, but anyway, you can see the for one number, you can see all the numbers in my head. The ratio, the ratio and the percentage changes because it's a different bet. And so if you learn all these, I got them all memorized. It took me probably 2.5 months, but I was going them over every day. And then I have to go over them. Sometimes I have to go over them once a week or something like that, just to keep them fresh in my head. But it's good to know, because when you go to the tables, you already know. It says, well, shit, the casino has this percentage against me. What do I do against it? You can hedge bet. Oh, you got another caller? Hello, who's this?
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead. Who's this?
Hey, this is Art from LA.
Oh, Art McGrath?
Yes, that's it.
Uh-huh. Okay, what's up, Art? Go ahead. How's your hip?
Hip's doing fine.
Okay.
Hobbling around the house.
Okay, go ahead.
So my question was, getting your take on doubling down on 12. Why not to do it?
Why not to do it?
Yeah, why should I or why shouldn't I? What are the
Okay.
pros and cons of doubling down on 12?
Okay, this is why okay, like I said in my book, the percentage and ratios I give you, and you can see they're in your favor. On a single deck, is 35 you won't bust, and only 13 you will bust. On 6-deck shoe, there's 215 you will not bust, and only 93 you will bust. The ratios and percentages in your favor is 2.25%. In your favor, you're not going to bust. It's not a guarantee, but a lot of times I have done it. You can do this on one-on-one with the dealer. You can see, because if it's just you two, as you're going along, the ratios will change because more 10 value cards will be discarded. But the ratios are in your favor to take this bet. You can double down without even keeping the ratios in your head because it is in your favor to do it. Do you remember that time when Avi was on the table? I told her, do it, Avi, do it. She looked up at me and she did it. I think she caught an 8, but she didn't bust because the ratios are in your favor not to bust.
So why does the house call it out when you do it?
Because they want to make sure. That happens a lot. It happened to me. I was betting $100. I had 12, and they called the table. I was counting the cards too. You can use card recognition, but I was counting the cards, and she said, you have a 12. I says, I know I got a 12, because I knew the count was so low. I figured a 10 might not come out. It's not guaranteed. They called the floor over. And he said he wants a hit on a 12 because I was betting black. That's why they did it. Sometimes they do it if you're betting $10. He goes, you have a 12. I said, I know how to have a 12. I want to hit. So he gave me a hit. I got an ace, but the dealer busted. So the ratios are in my favor. And plus, if you're card counting, you get a lot better idea if 10 value cards are coming out or not. But you can do what you want. It's up to you. But you'll find out if you get the book and you read the ratios and the percentages, you'll find out the ratios are in your favor to take a hit. Same thing with blackjack. That's why they offer insurance. Why do you think they do that? It's not for you. It's for them. The ratios are in your favor that they're not going to have a 10 value card underneath that ace. And I was going to show you that table's here too. Let's see, on a single deck, that is, I think it's 33 to 16. They're not going to have it. 33 cards on a single deck. The dealer's not going to have a 10 value card underneath that ace. And there's only 13 they will. So the ratios are in your favor. 16. They're not going to have it. So I teach you all these ratios in the book. Like I said, it took me probably 2 years, and then I went over it for another 1.5 years to clean it up and add more to it. All right, Art.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot.
Well, thanks for the answer. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, so all these ratios that I teach, if you get them memorized, when you go to a table, let's just say on blackjack, if I can do it, you can do it. You just need to practice like anything else. Batters practice before the game, then they have batting practice. You have to practice. I don't care how good you are. You have to keep your eye has to watch the ball, and your bat has to stay within the percentage of you hitting that ball. And if you don't practice for 2-3 weeks, what's going to happen? Your bat is going to be off. Same thing with these ratios. Keep them in your head. Yeah, it's 33-16. The dealer's not going to have it. There's 69 on 2 decks, 69 to 32. They're not going to have it. You can see the ratios in your favor. Remember something. Why are they offering you? Why would the casino offer you that? It's not for you. It's for them. Avi Art says double down. Double down. Yeah. So on a 6 deck, it was 213 cards. They ask you for insurance. They're not going to have a 10 value card. It's 213 cards. They're not going to have it. And there's only 96 cards that are going to have it. On 8 decks, it's 285. They're not going to have a 10 value card under that ace. And there's only 128. They are going to have it. The ratio's in your favor. So it's up to you. You do what you want. In the long run, I've always said no. Even money. They ask you for even money, just say no. That's all you got to remember. No insurance. And in the long run, you'll notice the dealer will not have a 10 value card under that ace. It's up to you. I proved the ratios in the book. You can see the ratios are there. So it's just a better way of understanding the game that you're playing. Like I said, in blackjack, I play 2 hands because a lot of time one pays the other. So I just say don't play 3 hands because I've done the scenarios, 10 shoes, and I've done better with playing 2 decks. Now a lot of people play 1 deck. You can do that, but when the deck becomes rich in tens, or if you're card counting, or the deck is favoring you, you want to collect more money. Play 2 hands. And the other thing about that, there's a little secret. I told this on episode 2 with Gypsy. Walk down the aisle and look at the dealer. Look at all the dealers' trays on blackjack. Look at their trays. If you see the trays, they're half gone or more, it's called dumping. The dealer is dumping to the players. In other words, doesn't matter what's going on, the cards are just favoring the players. And when you see that means jump on that table. If you see people playing, look at their chips. If they have maybe somewhat little stacks, but you see the dealer's tray full, don't play on that table. If you're going to be a card counter on that table, when nobody's really winning, you have to start in the beginning. You have to start the shoe in the beginning. You can't come in the middle. It has to be in the beginning to start counting cards. 6 decks, 2 decks, single deck, 8 decks. You have to start in the beginning. But that's a little secret I tell people. Go walk down the aisle and you see people high-fiving each other, screaming out. Look at the dealer's tray. Most of the time it's half gone or more. That's a little secret that I learned as a dealer, dumping. They do call, the floor comes over and makes an order. They get an order to bring more chips. That's why you see, don't get mad. I do see sometimes they bring chips on the crap table. When they bring all those chips for it, they got thousands of dollars on the table, and they're bringing more chips. Stop the game to piss off the dice, the guy throwing the dice. It doesn't matter. The ratios and percentages are the same. It doesn't matter. The dice goes off the table. People are all superstitious. The dice went off the table. That has nothing to do with it. Once you learn about the dice and the combinations, 36 combinations, the percentage and ratios of the number, whatever the number is, it has nothing to do with it. I've done it a couple of times just because I was mad. It depends on what my mood is. One time I had all the numbers, the table was on fire, and I was winning all this. I was up, I think, something like $3,500, and everybody was high-fiving each other. And the guy got so excited. That happens. They get the dice, and they just sling them because they're so happy. They get drunk, and the dice go out. One die goes off the table. They bring it back. And some people do take their odds off. Some people, you can hear them, shit, here comes a 7. And I'm like, don't say that. By the way, it's called Big Red. When the game's going, call it Big Red. Don't say 7. It's called Big Red. So I did do it with that time. I said, I'm off. I tell the dealer, I'm off. You don't have to take them down. You can say I'm off. So I'm off, and I did take off my odds. And people are looking at me, what are you doing that for? I said, I don't know. 7 came out. Everybody, I ain't lying, everybody on that crap table looked at me like, how'd you know? I just did it that one time. I'll never forget it because we were making so much money, and that one die went off, and it did happen. It has nothing to do with anything. I just did it. I don't know why I did it. I just did it. I've done it a couple of times, but it has nothing to do with nothing. So, but yeah, those tables and the ratios, blackjack, and got another caller? Stiff hand. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
This is Dave?
Yeah, I got a question for you. It's Cliff.
Oh, Cliff. Sound like Dave. Go ahead, Cliff.
They're good to be heard no matter what I sound like. Good question for you, man. I got some family coming in town. They like playing slot machines.
Uh-oh.
Is it true you should hit max bet, or should you just be conservative on the slot machines?
No. Definitely max bet. Always
Definitely max bet.
Always max bet. And the other thing about slot machines, when you look up there and it says 97 payback, 80, 99% back, that's the life of the machine, not while you're sitting there. So
So it's like an advertise. It's like a hook.
well, what's happening is the average person doesn't know this. I know it because I wanted to know it. I've known this for probably 20 years. It's the life of the machine, that payback. It's not while you're sitting there. So
Okay.
that's just something. And it's run by a random generator. That random generator is running 24/7. So you could be standing there talking to somebody between the machines on a rows, and those machines could be hitting the jackpots, but you wouldn't know because you weren't playing at that time.
Wow.
That random generator is running 1,000 series per second. So while you're
Got it.
playing, and you might hit that exact series at that time. But if you're not playing, it won't hit. All right, Cliff.
Wow, that's a good way of looking at that. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll let them know.
Okay, you're welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yes, it's also got a motherboard. That motherboard has got a chip. That chip is the same chip with the gaming board. It's the same exact chip. So if there's something wrong with the machine, like say you hit a jackpot and the machine gets stuck, say it gets stuck a couple of times, and you call the floor over and says, what's wrong with this machine? It's called a gaff. And if it's a gaff, you can actually say, I won that jackpot, or something's wrong with the machine. Why did you do it? Well, maybe one time. But if it is 2 times, there's something wrong with that machine. So you can actually call the floor and say, I want to have this machine checked out. So what they'll do, they'll shut the machine down, and they'll have one of the guys from the gaming control board. They'll come with a little small computer. They used to have the real big ones, and they'll check the machine. It has a gaff. They'll find out if you were supposed to be paid that jackpot or not. So you can do these things. It's just you should know these things. I know them. I wanted to know them. So that's why on a crap table, a lot of people don't know this. If you have a problem with a bet, which I did a couple of times, and I was going to file a riots act, you can file a riots act against any of the floor, the dealers, the boxmen. You can call a riots act. And that means if you made a bet and you should have been paid and they don't want to pay you, you can actually say, no, you should have paid me for that bet. And you can say, I'm going to file a riots act against you or the dealer. And you can do this. What they'll do is they'll stop the game and they'll say, we're going to go back on that because they don't want a problem. The thing is with that, they stop the game. Everybody's all mad because you stop. But if it's your money, it's your money. You want to stop the game, that's up to you. They'll go ahead and they'll look at the tapes. And that's the other thing I'm going to let you guys know. I'm not supposed to know this. Even as a dealer, a lot of dealers don't know this. I know it because I'm not going to tell you how I know it, but I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you that I know it. I can go back 10 to 15 years. If you look up at the eye in the sky and you see all these little black domes, a lot of those domes, there's no cameras in them. You don't know that because it's tinted dark. 15 years ago, there was a lot of these. There was only one camera. It was only a still camera. There was a 180, and then there was a 360 camera, and then they have extra cameras, still cameras. But a lot of those domes, there's no cameras in it. So I just know that. I'm not going to tell you how I know that, but trust me, especially in the casinos, you see a lot of those domes. There's no a lot of cameras. They're not in those domes. They're now straight over the table. That one probably works. That one might be a still camera straight down. Then you have the 360s, maybe one here. But you'll see a whole bunch of other ones going this way, going that. There's no cameras in them. What's that? Can you explain briefly of a bet, a buy bet? Says if it's a hot table, the point is 4, and I play 6 and 8, and 6 keeps coming up. When should I buy it, and what are its benefits? Oh, a 6 and 8. You try to stump me, Dave. Okay, yes, 4 and 10 are the best numbers to buy because, what do you say, Avi? No, that's, it's Avi? Oh, I thought it was Dave. Didn't it say Dave? I thought it said Dave. Okay. If you buy 6 and 8, even though they come up the most, you won't win nothing. I've done the scenarios on that. A lot of buy bets on 6 and 8, you break out even. Now, if you do make any money, you have to bet in the hundreds. But if I bet $12, I think it's 12 on 6 and 8. If you buy that, you'll get true odds, which is the same thing as it will become true odds, and you won't get paid. You'll get paid the same as a put bet. Now the 4 and 10 for $25. If you place those, you'll get paid $45. But if you buy it, you'll get $50 minus $1, which would be the VIG. So the true payout would be $49. But you make $4 more for $1 on the place bet. If you buy it, you break out even. That's why a lot of people don't buy 6 and 8. You can buy 5 and 9 and 4 and 10. A lot of these casinos now, they're giving you the buy without you asking for it. They're just doing it. But if people don't have no knowledge, they're giving it to them. That's pretty good. I think the Binions and the Excalibur, they're actually letting you buy the bet for the first time. They're asking for no VIG up front. That's pretty good. That says Dave from Cal. Oh, here's Dave Craps. Does it matter what table position I throw from for the best results? No. It has. If you're practicing dice setting, which I do have in my book, I have dice setting in the book, and I show you how to set the dice to throw certain numbers. If you practice for you got to practice for about 6 months. If you practice for 6 months, it does work because I did try it. I mean, I've tried all kinds of things to beat the casinos, and it's right here. It's called dice setting. You can see right there. I originally wasn't going to put this in my book, but I noticed it was it was real popular. A lot of some people I know were doing it. You'll learn how to set dice really fast. You should learn how to set dice really fast, because if you start winning money and pretty good, you start winning, and they see what you're doing. The box man will tell you, sir, when they give you the dice, you need to just throw them. That's why they have mirrors on the sides too, because just in case you're switching dice or the box man is watching what you're doing, he can just look at the mirror and you can see he's not looking at you. And if you take too long, that means you're setting dice. I know, what is it? I can't remember. It's behind the MGM. That casino does not let you set dice. There's a guy out there. I'm not going to give him a plug, but he made a lot of money on dice setting, and he's banned from all the casinos for that. But he sells books and tapes. Why would you buy this? Because the casinos will tell you can't do that, sir. Just get dice and throw them. I know. I think New York. They don't like dice setters. They'll tell you right up front. But no, it doesn't matter what area where you're at. The crap table is just comfortable. Wherever you're comfortable, if you want to throw a set of dice, that's up to you. The position, no, has nothing to do it. The only reason I'm saying a dice setter is because they practice your arm. It's a certain technique when they throw the dice and they release them. When you throw the dice, when you get the dice and you set them, I don't care how good you set them. If you just get them and sling them, you're dice setting for nothing. If you set them and you grab 3 fingers in the front and the thumb in the back, I'm not going to get up and get those. You use the mechanics, the distance of the table And it's 6 inches from the back. You hit them, they hit the 6 inches, it hits, and it hits the back and comes back. That's the way you should throw them. When you lob the dice, you'll learn at 6 months, the distance is out a 12-foot table, 14, 16-foot table. You have to practice that distance because you got the mechanics of your arm tossing the dice. The dice should be in midair, not moving. They should be in midair stiff. And they hit 6 inches, they hit the back, and they come back. Believe me, it works because I did it and I seen patterns. A lot of times I did hit this hard ways, and you can see the numbers on the dice on top and towards you. You can see them. They're exactly, it does work, but you have to practice for probably 6 months, the same length of the table and the mechanics of what position you're at. You do have to practice. Help support Go Live. Help support Go Live Studios. Go to the website. Where's GLV? Go Live Vegas. Vegas, and purchase one of these hot items. Aaron has these for Go Live Vegas Studios. These are things you can buy. Coffee mugs. I think he's got posters. I think I saw my poster. I don't know about that one. Doesn't it skip the payout when you hit the buy, throw?
That's a question.
I don't understand. It says the buy. No, I don't know. It's not. I don't know. I don't understand that. What do you mean it skips? The only thing I can see on that is a come bet. You got to wait twice to get paid once. On a buy bet, once you make a buy bet, 4 or 10, whatever, for every $20, you have to give them $1 to buy it, and it becomes true odds. Board odds on a 4 or 10 are 9 to 5. If you buy it, it becomes 2 to 1. It becomes true odds, just like the on behind the pass line. That becomes true odds. Man, this hour's already gone. Anyway, you can go hit that subscribe button. I can probably talk for another hour, but I guess my voice got a little bit better. But you can go ahead and get my book. It's in the book, Winning Ways, Avi. You can Kindle it, Google Play. Teach you everything about racing percentages on all these 3 games. Go to see all my videos. Delatory 360 Entertainment, and you can see all my videos on blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, Keno. I have a vast knowledge of all these games. I've been playing for 35 years. Horse racing is 7 through 10. You can go ahead and anything on horse racing and go ahead and see that. Okay, I want to say goodbye here from Go Live Vegas Studios. This is Full Tilt Vegas, and I'll see you next Saturday. Thank you very much.